it's Sharonda Isadora, and welcome to Brazen Bait Reviews. And during this month's video, I will be doing a book review. It will be so far a series review by Miss Nicole Falls, which is her new beginnings series. So let's get into this thing, shall we? All right, how are you guys doing? Happy February. I hope the month is treating you well. Happy Valentine's Day and happy whatever other day is in this month. But yeah, I hope the month is treating you guys very well so far. So again, this will be a book review, a series review by Nicole Falls. The first book in the series is called The Change Up, and then the second book is called The Restart. So of course I'll start with The Change Up, and then we'll go into the second book. So I found out about this series by the author, because one, I follow her on Twitter, and two, she actually released The Restart today. So I didn't want to go into the second book without reading the first book. Sometimes I don't mind jumping into a series, without reading, whatever books are in front of the ones that I saw. But I saw that this was a sports romance, it's black romance, and shit, I'm interested. So there we go. So the first book, as always, I'll read this blurb to you guys, and then we will get into what I thought about this series. And this is The Change Up by Nicole Falls. For the entirety of her life, Jeffrey Robinson has known that being a girl who plays baseball was a novelty. At some point, however, the novelty wore off and she stepped away from playing the sport until a chance exposition places her at the center of attention once again. With the spotlight shining brightly on her, Jeffrey finds herself with an amazing opportunity within her grasp that she's eager to take. But with all great success comes the trolls. Enter No Offense, a sports blogger who's a little too opinionated about how excellent Jeffrey really is, and challenges her to a competition to prove his superiority. Between Noah's challenge and an opportunity placed before her, Jeffrey's calm summer escalates into a whirlwind season of dreams fulfilled. So that, beautiful people, is your blurb. According to Amazon, this is a 2-hour read, but I've been on vacation. I am on vacation, so I've been chucking around this damn house all day, and it took me a little bit more time than that, but again, I was chucking around, so you know. So this is the cover, which is just gorgeous. I love this cover. It's such a simple, well done cover, and it just really, like, you're looking at this cover and you know what you're gonna get. Like, I love that. So this book, like I said, is considered a sports romance, and but all the books in this series is going to be sports romance. It's focusing around women that are actually playing the sports. So we have Jeffrey in this book. She played baseball, and pretty much everyone around her in this book, like her dad, and then the guy that she's gonna hook up with, they all had an opportunity to play baseball, but decided at some point in time in their lives to, forgo playing professionally, and they're doing other things now. As far as Jeffrey, she's a teacher. Her dad was really good in high school, but he forgot for when his opportunity to stay and help his mom out and stuff like that. And Jeffrey, she just, she, as you go further into the story with Jeffrey, she just has like some nervousness in her. Like when the opportunity always came up for her to move further in her baseball career, you know, her nerves got a little bit better of her, and she decided not to take opportunities that were, you know, offered to her. And far as Noah, who's going to be her love interest in the story, he couldn't play professional because of injuries. So he's now this really popular sports blog or whatever. But anyway, how her and Noah end up meeting is because Jeffrey and her dad, they do like, she's like a daddy's girl. She was raised by this single dad. Her mother died when she was really young or whatever. And, you know, he was, you know, with her, you know, she was like a little tomboy and all that other stuff. So, you know, she ended up being more interested in what her, you know, her dad was doing, you know, outside of the females in her family that helped her dad raise her or whatever. So anyway, how her and Noah ends up meeting is because her and her dad have like these rituals where they go to their town's teams, you know, non-major league, you know, baseball games or whatever, and this opportunity comes up for her to actually pitch, you know, do a pitch on the field. You know, they do that sometimes in these games or whatever, but they pull people out of the audience to do something, you know, on the field, you know, on the court, stuff like that. So this is what happens to Jeffrey. And by her throwing the ball, because she's a pitcher, she throws really fast. And she ends up going viral, and Noah ends up trolling her on Twitter. And then, you know, they have like this little competition between them where he tries to prove, you know, prove to, you know, like his fans and his little audience or whatever that he's better than her, and, you know, outside of baseball and all that other stuff. So, but, you know, and also outside of her and Noah, you know, hooking up and having like this little romance or whatever, this other opportunity comes up for Jeffrey where she ends up getting the opportunity to play for, the USA baseball team or whatever, and she takes that opportunity. But during the midst of all of this, you know, her and Noah, when they do that little competition thing before them, they actually end up, you know, having a one-night stand, and then they try to figure out, you know, what this relationship is going to be. But what I really like most about the story is it was just really like a really cute, sweet romance. I mean, not to say that Nicole Falls didn't have sexy times going on in that book, because child, she had some sexy times going on in the book, some sexy steamy times. I was like, child, I had to get up for a minute. You know, one of the scenes I was like, ooh. But it's really just a really cute romance. Like, I really love the relationship between Jeffrey and Noah, because, you know, even though, you know, there was like no kind of like, even though they were, well, we're getting more of the story from Jeffrey's point of view. So, you know, she's having like these thoughts of what is this going to be. But what I liked about it is that Miss Falls didn't put like any type of pressure on them. You know what I mean? They were just really just going with the flow, because they both had other things going on outside of their lives. You know what I mean? So I just love that. It was just really like this really kind of like, just really kind of like this really free flowing type of a sports romance. You know what I mean? And the characters, like, I loved Jeffrey. She was just, everybody in the book was just likable, you know, not just Noah and Jeffrey, but, you know, her dad, you know, her friends. It was just a really likable book, you know what I mean? Like, no drama at all, you know. It was just a well done, just really a great romance, and I love that, and I want to see more of that, because it was just so good to see. You know, of course we had the, you know, I loved Noah's character. I thought he was just like a really well done character. Just, you know, very cocky, very self-assured, but dude had jokes. He was just very funny, a very sweet guy, and he really didn't like, you know, like pressure her or anything like that. You know what I mean? It was just a really, you know, it's just a well done story, and I loved it. So if you're so interested, you should really check it out. Again, it's The Change Up by Nicole Falls. Just very well done story. Again, no drama, like just a really well done, sweet type of a romance, you know, A+. So we're going to get into this next book, okay? Hey, y'all. All right, so we're going to go on to this next book, which again is The Restart. And this is the second book in her New Beginnings series. And here's our blurb. Life has a way of catching you wholly off guard, and no one knows this better than Blair Gordon. When her world is rocked by an unforeseen occurrence, it causes her to take stock in everything around her to decide how she will progress forward. Before the tragedy struck, she'd always been more than content with her life, but after she has a sudden craving for more. And that more comes in the form of a fortuitous reconnection with a blast from her past, Lee 10 Forbes. Lee swoops back into Blair's life at just the right time, infusing the monotony of her day-to-day life with a little flair. Okay, y'all, that's the blurb. I don't even know what blah. So, and this is the cover. I love this cover. It is so freaking cute. Like, yeah, this is just like perfect. Okay, so the second book is so I guess what she's doing is the series is we're going through the lives and the relationships of these three women that are best friends. So again, another cute read. I actually love this one as well too. According to Amazon, this is also a 2-hour read, 137 pages, so a little bit less pages than the first book. So again, you have Blair and you have Lee, and what goes on in this particular book is you have Blair, who suffers a loss, a mentor of hers that is tragically killed, and after this happens, she's questioning things. She's at the point where, she is just trying to like her life is good, you know what I mean? She's happy, her and, her life is good. She's happy and stuff like that. But after this happens, she does feel like a little bored. Like she feels like she needs like a little boost or a little kick. And, she gets that in a form of Lee. Blair is like the comic relief of the group. Like, she's fucking hysterical. Like, Nicole Falls has made this character so freaking hysterical. But like, got jokes. She's like one of those friends you be like, bitch, you're doing too much. That'd be her. But she finds her and Lee connected like years ago during a trip that her and the girls had took to Vegas, did in Vegas, and they had like, a kind of like, what stays in Vegas, what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas kind of a weekend, you know what I mean? They hooked up that way. And she finds him on Facebook again, and they kind of reconnect that way. He actually ends up inviting her back out to Vegas. So this is kind of like her move, her thing, to take this this thing of this bored feeling that she has, or this thing of something needs to like shift and change in her life. Lee invited her to this trip to Vegas, and then reconnecting is that thing, for her to do, to have like this sudden need, this sudden change or whatever. And when they get to Vegas, they kind of reconnect and they hook up. And again, this is another cute story in the series. It's a little bit, for me, I felt like it was a little bit more, it had like a little bit more serious undertones to it, and a little bit more dramatics, but nothing too serious. And that only came in a form of like, once Lee and Blair did hook back up, they had to make the decision of well, mainly Blair, because Lee knew exactly what he wanted, but it was mainly Blair. She really had to make the decision on where she wanted to go with their relationship. Like, what could them reconnecting after not seeing each other in, like, I think it was like 7 years, and them hooking up in Vegas again. Like, what is this going to lead up to? You know what I mean? I did get the little feeling of kind of like insta love, in this one, but it kind of sort of makes sense. Like as you go further into the story and you get kind of like why Lee felt the way he did, you know what I mean? So, I did get a little bit of instant love in there, but again, it's kind of like explained towards the end of the book. But I love Lee and Blair together. I thought, where she was kind of like this, kind of like, that pop off one in a group or whatever, he was really like calm, so he kind of was like a bomb, to her little wild soul or whatever, So another cute story in a series. It's just really like just really cute, little stories wrapped up in these sport romances. And I just really love the fact that she has these stories following these women that are, in like the sports, world or whatever. And same thing with Blair, like, she's into soccer, and she didn't do her professional thing in soccer, for whatever reason, and now she's also a teacher. Well, they're all teachers, at these points in their lives, but an opportunity. I like that she makes it where these opportunity comes up in the stories for these ladies to, refulfill their dreams and just, actually do, what they set out to do, when they made their goals, when they were, young and in college and stuff like that, before, regular life comes in and snatch you by the collar and you looking back like, damn, I didn't even do what I was going to do. You know what I mean? So I like that she kind of like give us these kind of like, kind of like just inspiration for these ladies to get back into what they really wanted to do with their lives. You know what I mean? Rather, they were doing it like kind of like in the background. You know what I mean? Because the ladies were teachers, but they was like, with in the first book with Jeffrey, she was, she was a teacher, but she was also, doing like, some made, like little things as far as like baseball. Same thing with Blair, she was a teacher, but she taught like soccer, in the school and stuff like that. But I just like the idea of Miss Falls like giving us like an opportunity for these ladies to get back, to what they really wanted to do, having those opportunities pop up in a story. So I guess we're gonna have 3 books in this series. We still have to get the other friends, Parker's story, which I'm really looking forward to, because I think that's going to be like probably the most dramatic one out of out of the book. So I'm really excited to get to Parker's story. But again, very cute story. Kind of like, what do we call that? What do we call that in a romance genre, y'all? I can't remember. With people kind of like losing a relationship and then, kind of like reconnecting, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I loved it. So, I didn't say the ratings for either one of the books, but I'll be rating the first book in the series, which is The Change Up. I rated that one 5 stars. And for this one, which is The Restart, I rated 4 stars. So yeah, still a lot of humor, like freaking hysterical as goddamn humor in the story. There was one part in this damn thing where her and her sister were talking on the phone, and they said something about the mother's wig. And child, when I tell y'all I was on the goddamn floor, I was on the floor. Matter of fact, this is the goddamn thing that the sister said. Oh, it was something that happened in Vegas, and she's on the phone with the sister, but the mother had done got mad at Blair. So the sister says, "You did something. Did you finally tell her that wig she's been wearing appears to be backwards?" Bitch, I can't even finish this. That shit took me out when I was reading it. She said she's been wearing appears to be on backwards and inside out. Ooh. Oh my. Oh, y'all, that took me out so bad. I was like, anyway, Nicole Falls, you got a wicked ass sense of humor. I love these books. They were just really, they're just really sweet. You know, not too much drama type of romances. Again, these are sport romances, so I highly suggest you pick them up if you're looking for a couple of quick reads to get you through the weekends. Definitely pick up Nicole Falls' New Beginner series. Right now, there are 2 books in the series, and we are eagerly awaiting for book 3. Thank you, ma'am, because I had a good time reading these books today. They were just amazing. Totally loved it. So before I go, I wanted to show you guys a couple of book sleeves that I gotten from Monica over at Monica's Reading on Bookstagram and Twitter and stuff. But she makes her sleeves herself, and she's now selling them in her Etsy shop, which is called Dreaming of Silly. So right about now, I said I had 3 on Instagram, but I actually have 4 when I finished counting. I was like, bitch, I did that many. But anyway, so this is the first one. All 3 of these are the large ones that I have of hers. So this one I generally use for my tablet, which I was using, so you know it's empty. But it's really nice. They're really nice and roomy inside or whatever. This one is for like my bigger books, my bigger paperbacks, and any hardcovers that I have, which is just like y'all far and few between, because me and hardcovers don't mix, baby. We don't mix. This one actually holds my journal. So this is actually, my journal is actually hardcover, so you know they're really nice and roomy. These are the large ones. And then the last one I got is a small one. I actually can put like my smaller paperbacks in, so you know, just like that. Even like, you know, they're nice. This is a nice thick book, and you know, so yeah. So I just wanted to show it off. So if you guys are interested, if you know anybody, or if you're interested and you know want to protect your books, your tablet, or whatever else you decide to put inside the sleeves, definitely hit Monica up. And again, her Etsy shop, I'll leave it at the bottom of the screen, is called Dreaming of Silly. So that is it for me, guys, and until the next one, later days, bye.